Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to our December meeting. I'll have to lean over here next to Chris to use this microphone because mine isn't working. But hopefully I'll talk loud enough. But at this time, I want to call the meeting to order, and I want to recognize Mark Popham. Mark is our veteran of the month, and we're proud to have you here again.
Thank you.
Mark served in the Army for 6 years, and what's interesting is he served on the city council for 8 years, and so he's been a lifetime member of Ball Ground. And while he was in the Army, you were in Germany for a while, right? So did you learn to speak German?
Very little. I learned how to order a beer and a drink.
Well, were you here for the monument dedication?
I was unable to attend. I had to make a trip out.
Well,
I'm sorry I missed it.
Well, we're proud for you to be an official part of now being recognized, and we have this.
We usually, but we haven't done it before, but present it to them, get a picture, but I didn't know whether you want to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
We're going to do that. Let me give you this. Step up here. He's asked to speak to us too, so
Oh, yeah, sure.
I want to. This is if I can open it. You know the trick?
It's got the tricky, right?
Yeah, it should have a strap
Yeah,
over
there
it.
it is.
Hmm?
Just pull that out.
This is something that we've done for veteran presentations, and it's with our city motto on it, and but we're very proud to have somebody to recognize that has actually been part of the city for many years. And not only part of the city, he's been in the city his entire life.
And the
I
backside's
have lived here since 1950, and even the Cohen, if you'll remember, we helped design that.
Yes.
And I have one of the first patches that we made with that insignia on it. And I'm proud of that.
Well,
Very proud of it.
we're proud of you to give you this recognition. And do you want to speak to us?
Just for maybe a moment. I promise, I will not get on my soapbox and fuss about the way our veterans are being treated. But I would like to say thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council, and anybody that had a part of this. Thank you so much. But at this time, I would like to ask if we have any veterans in the crowd, active or retired, please stand up for just a moment, or either raise your hand. Now, with that being said, and I know some of y'all have probably read this, but it was something I found back in the mid-70s, the true meaning of a veteran. A veteran is an active military personnel, National Guard, reservist, or retired, who at some point in their life wrote a blank check to the United States of America in the amount up to and including their life. Now, like many of you, we were sent everywhere. Most of us, when we reached our ETS, which is the end time in service, our check was canceled. But some of them, their check was cashed.
Yeah.
They didn't make it home. You, all of you. had friends that didn't make it home. I know. That memorial over there is a tribute to every branch of service. My hat's off to the mayor and council and to the community for giving us that tribute. May it last for many, many years to come. And again, Mr. Mayor, council, thank you so much.
Thank you
I
for your,
appreciate you.
thank you for your military and your city service.
Well, my city services, and also something I'm proud of, almost 51 years as a scoutmaster, but I've retired. We don't have a scout troop no more.
Yes, he
They
said,
ruined one of the greatest
you
organizations.
have been
in the
involved in
world.
the scouting, how many?
Since
30
thanks to
years?
Warren Whitfield and the mayor of Ball Ground, they put me in the seat in 1972.
Okay.
So,
Well,
Up until
you're
today.
renowned for that as well. So,
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Mark, could I ask you to, for us to stand and you lead us in pledging allegiance to
Sure,
our
it'd
flag?
be an honor. Let everyone who are citizens of the United States join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, council, we have a somewhat short agenda today, but we need to get it approved as it's being presented. Any changes?
No, sir.
Motion to approve the agenda, please. Andy? Second, Lee. All in favor? Okay, so we'll move on to, now we'll approve this. We had nobody to sign up to speak today, so no public comments. So again, we'll move on. It's going to be a quick meeting. The first thing is, next thing is to approve the minutes of our November work session and our November council member. That was meeting, that was November 3rd and November 10th. Have you had the chance, council, to review the minutes? Any changes or? Go ahead and make a motion to approve both sets of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
Vicki, Dennis, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Again, a very quick meeting, no old business today, and we'll move to new business. We just have one item, and that is a de-annexation that we've considered and actually moving forward on now. And I'll ask Eric to give us a summary of that de-annexation that's up on the screen.
Yes, sir. This is a request to de-annex a small parcel of property that adjoins Cherry Grove Road in the far reaches of the city there. It's the little red dot. Now, this is a city-initiated de-annexation. We've been working with property owners in that area. Property owners across the street, we've already actually de-annexed a few years ago. This is a parcel of property totaling combined almost 1,000 acres that was brought into the city many years ago and is really not conducive to service delivery. There are two homes in that area. One is the red area that we're talking about now. But what is shaded in the lighter red is where we're working with other property owners to voluntarily de-annex that property. We have to drive probably 10 or 12 minutes on county roads from outside the city to actually reach that property. It is zoned agricultural, and that is probably its highest and best use in that area. And this individual is the first one to bring his application in for that de-annexation.
Okay, any questions?
How long ago was it annexed
Karen, 2007, 2008, right before the downturn.
Yeah.
So,
And
And this is about 3 acres, this parcel?
this parcel, yes. It's a very small piece of it.
okay, de-annexation will be approved by the county.
Yes, it goes to us as a relinquishment. We're approving this, but unless the county accepts it, then it is not de-annexed. We've had conversations with the chairman, and this is something that Commissioner West has been involved with for a number of years in trying to secure that area back to just rural county to stay. So at least from our district commissioner, he's actually encouraging and welcoming this, and will support it at the Board of Commissioners.
Is this the first of 2 readings?
This should not require a second reading at our level.
When will we know for sure from the county that they've accepted it back in?
January.
Okay.
How does that's outside our growth boundary?
The
Isn't it
tip,
very close?
that area right there, yes. Now, it goes through the other parcel, the bigger parcel, but we really shouldn't split parcels when we get back in. The main trunk of this is still 800 and some acres that's with one owner. But it's, like I say, it's an area that we cannot effectively serve.
Okay, hearing the info, have a motion to approve this de-annexation.
So moved.
Okay, Lee, second.
Second.
Chris? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that goes to the county now. Hopefully, they'll approve it too. Well, that's all the new business we have. I think this is the shortest meeting we've had in some time. But what I want to ask, Eric, if you would, for your presentation, before that, go ahead and make the announcements that, any announcements you need to make that were on the agenda that I skipped over.
City Hall will be closed on the 23rd and 26th of December for the Christmas holiday, and will be closed on January 2nd because the 1st is on Sunday. So we take Monday as the holiday. And those were the only 2 announcements.
Okay. You want to move forward on your manager report?
Very abbreviated report tonight on our fund balances. The general fund sits at 1.07 million. SPLOST is at 236,000. Fire, remembering, is a complete 100% pass-through. We are at 289,000. We only remit that annually now to Cherokee County. Utilities, we're at 1.1 million for a total of 2.7 million cash on hand. We do have remaining ARP funds of 50,223. Most of this will disappear over the next week as we pay out the invoices for the Groover Street to Old Canton Road turn radius improvement and sidewalk repair there. Everybody does have a copy of the financial report, but in the general fund, the revenue for November was $372,000 against expenses of $144,000. Year to date, we're at $1 million in revenue with $670,000 in expenses. On SPLOST, we're $43,000 in revenue, expenses of $108,000. On utilities, November revenue is at $147,000, expenses of $143,000. Year-to-date revenue of $907,000 against expenses of $693,000. Major tasks underway right now with staff include the budget, impact fees, the parks, request for proposals, staffing evaluations, and facility evaluations. On our capital projects, police station, we had a little bit of a meeting and we have a new person. They gave us the least experienced person in the company, and he's turned that project around in days. He's a kid, I say a kid, but fresh out of college for project management. Has been phenomenal. Communicates every single day. We have contractors working every single day. We're down to tedious punch-out items now. The department's already started moving over. Computers have been moved over. Working on telephones, internet, those kinds of things. So all that will get wrapped up hopefully tomorrow. With the punch-out items left are insignificant enough that they can start occupying the building, so that'll be the focus over the next couple of weeks, and we'll get the project wrapped up. Right now, we are still estimating we have one big expense still outstanding, which was a change order for millwork in the squad room. But it still looks like we're going to bring the project in under budget in the neighborhood of $105,000 to $110,000. Old Dawsonville Road, I lied when I said we were going to pave the second week of December. The rain has absolutely killed us, and it's just become a problem. It's stacking them back on other jobs that they had. Additionally, we have found a gas main that is not where it was supposed to be. It's not just a little one, it's a nice 4-inch gas main that increases to 6, that we have to coordinate a relocation of that with Atlanta Gas Light to get it out of the way before we can finish the roadway improvements. For all intents and purposes, the Groover Street, Old Dawsonville, or Old Canton Road, turn radius improvements are complete and no longer have the safety hazard of the sidewalk being about 4 foot lower than the roadway in that area. Water and sewer, again, very abbreviated. Everybody has water and everybody's sewer is flowing. You know, if you see our team, you know, one of the great things what they do is nobody in the city was aware of a single problem. And from Thanksgiving afternoon till Monday evening, everything was a constant, and the guys worked, you know, naps in between and going. Every sewer lift station in the city was on manual operation to make sure we didn't flood the station we were having problems with. I had to call in a lot of contractors. We spent a lot of money. Don't know how much yet. You don't really ask when you're calling vacuum trucks to come in and vacuum out wells to keep you from spilling. But they did a phenomenal job, and our contractors did as well. And like I said, nobody knew there was an issue, and that's the way we like it. Public safety, the chief has provided everyone with a written report. Ball ground rocks.
Okay, Eric, let me comment on, you were praising, you said phenomenal jobs by the people that helped with the repair. I want to say that you're the one that did the most phenomenal. For the time you spent, your knowledge of everything is amazing, and I'm saying that I've shared that with the council. We're just so lucky to have you. We're very lucky to have you, and I've always felt like you do the job of about 3 or 4 people. And again, that expertise that you have allowed that to work.
I appreciate that, but I won't say most. And there was something for the first time I drew the line on, and I did not get in the hole with sewer water in it. But I was there. And our team did phenomenally well, but it also brought to light some things. You know, every time we do this, I come back and ask for more, and council has always been great to us. But we'll be asking for some more tools and some more toys, to where if this happens again, nobody's standing in sewer water. There's things we can do, and they're expensive, but we got to take care of our folks, and we appreciate your support tremendously.
And you said there was a $1 million vehicle?
We had 2 of them running nonstop, back to back.
when you sent me that, I thought, well, he's gonna ask us to buy one.
No, we're going much cheaper.
But again, we appreciate everything you
Thank
did
you.
and what you do. At this time, let me turn to the council. We're going to recognize our council members that this is their last meeting, Andy and Lee. But do you have anything you want to bring up other than to praise them at this time?
You mean for council comments?
Right.
Well, let me add something to Eric's job. Today, he picked up an injured great blue heron. Dawn and I were driving by the park, and there was one out there injured with a pretty severe looking wing. I called Eric because he's a man, he's the go-to man. And they immediately came over and rescued the bird, and we're gonna take it to get him medical attention tomorrow. So another job that's not really in Eric's wheelhouse, but he handled it. Him and Jonathan came out and they picked up the bird, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anything you want to bring up, Andy, your last meeting?
Not really. Sad. I've enjoyed and yet not enjoyed 24 years of service. But
Well,
I'm happy to have been able to serve. And we've had some good times. We've had some bad times. It's good to see at least we have people who come and know what we do, because so many years went by that there was nobody in the audience to even know what type of effort was being put into the running of the city. It doesn't run by itself. It's a lot of effort goes into it. And before we got Eric, Karen was swamped with everything because she was our main wheel. And we got Eric, and things got a little better, and we're so thankful to have him on board, and just proud to be part of the team.
Well, we're going to recognize you in a few minutes, but nothing to bring up about.
Know about the city, no.
Okay.
The city to live in. Live, play, and work. We finally got it. Live, play, and work in the city.
All right, thank you. Vicki, anything you want to bring up?
I would like to thank Andy for her 24 years of service. Like you said, I know sometimes it's been hard, and sometimes it's been a good thing. And I think she's probably one of the rarest, becoming one of the rarest. She was born and raised here in Ball Ground, so this lady has seen a lot of changes. And I want to thank you, Andy. Thank you very much for your service. And for Lee, I would love to say thank you for your service to our country, and your service that as long as you've sat on the board here, for the city and the things that you have done and the accomplishments that you have made also.
Well, thank you. My pleasure.
Dennis, you want to bring up anything?
I appreciate the short time I was able to work with Lee and Andy, and appreciate your many years of service to the city, and it shows. It shows.
Nobody ever ran against us.
They knew what they were up against.
That's right.
Again, I would like to thank
Chris.
Andy and Lee for their years of service, and I've enjoyed sitting next to you for almost a year and waving at the other end to you, and gonna miss both you guys, and just keep an eye on us, make sure we stay in line up here.
Well, Andy's got me beat. I just got 18 years. And I'd like to thank the city and the council and all for all they've done for us and everybody out here. And you all know that I've been battling cancer, and I appreciate your prayers, your cards, and we're going to beat this. Things are going along, but just a little bit of, off the beaten path. We moved here in 2001 from Reno, Nevada, because our daughter was living in Canton, and we didn't want to, not in Canton, but in Cumming. And our son-in-law found us our property over here because we were raising alpacas and we needed a little bit of room. So I came into the city hall, which was down at the ice cream store, and talked to Eric, and he says, "You're coming from where?" And I said, "Reno, Nevada. I own a radiator shop there." He said, "Did you own the radiator shop in 2000 or
80
in
something.
82? I said, "I built it in 80. He says, "He was in the Army in Eastern California, not far from Reno, and I did a Cadillac radiator for him." So they say it's, 6 degrees of separation, but it's a small world. But thanks to everybody and the council and the council people, and thank you for everything.
Thank you, Lee. At this time, we have a PowerPoint presentation that we want to share with our council members, our new and departing ones. We have new ones here in the audience, and make some comments on that, but you want to go ahead and start the presentation?
I can.
This is again, we're just so proud of how involved in so many things that we've done since you've been in office. And let me say this, Andy has been, she's the second longest council member on our record. And Lee, you're the fourth longest.
Oh, really?
So that's
Only opposed once.
that's amazing. That really was very beneficial early in our time in the 90s and 2000 area to have like people that followed what we were doing and dedicated. I mean, it's a big commitment to volunteer to make decisions for the city, and over 24 and 18 years, that's 42 years together.
That's almost as old as me.
So very proud of you, and we wanted to share some things that you guys were very much involved in.
As the mayor mentioned, combined service of 42 years. It was a unique fit. Andy brought a lifetime of history and ball ground residency to the council. Lee brought a commitment to quality and experience, but also experiences from living in other places throughout our nation. Together, they supported numerous projects to benefit the city, and this is just a few of them. Go on along, but one of the things, sanitary sewer system, something we take for granted, something David and Joey were cursing last weekend. But our downtown restaurants were limited by the health department. We're only allowed to seat so many customers a day because none of them had operating septic systems. Over 80% of the homes in the core district discharged all of their gray water to the ditches in the city because we didn't have operating septic in most of the city. The elementary school on Old Canton Road had a failing septic and was actually hauling septic. Also, our water source is a groundwater source, and with all the failed septic and everything going on top, we risked constant contamination of our drinking water source. Sewer wasn't gone after as a luxury, but it's something that the city team took on as a gamble and incurred a lot of debt, but made downtown feasible. Mr. Mayor?
Well, Andy was on board when we approved and were implementing the installation, and she supported it. Lee came on while we were toward the end, but he again supported us in that. There are probably a few people here that objected to having a sewer system. If we had waited to the 2000 census, we would not have qualified for the $1 million grant we received. And the loan, the low interest rate loan. But again, having Andy and Lee join the city council, they continue to promote us moving forward with putting sanitation into the city, where we actually now can have businesses and more residents without having nasty water problems. But it's I'm glad you guys joined us to get that implemented.
Our downtown was dead. And it took a lot of work and a lot of risk to restore that. But that was another one of the things from Andy's lifetime here, and one of the causes she always championed, of talking about what a bustling center of commerce Ball Ground used to be. And she was pretty determined to make it hustle again. Lee worked on this project as well. He was on board for that. We got secured about $1 million grant from the Federal Department of Transportation, and we're able to bring this together, and the result is a lot different looking downtown today than what we used to have. Mr. Mayor?
That's a big, again, when we did the Valley Street, the main downtown revitalization, anything with federal government takes a long time, but you two supported us doing that because you realized how important it was that downtown be saved. And it's, again, it was just, it was very comforting to me and to Eric to have the support of both of you in getting this Main Street redone into a much more decent place than it was. It's not full of rock shops.
One of the biggest things, the heart of really every community, small community, is its school. Cherokee County Board of Education had given up on Ball Ground. As I said, their site had failed. They purchased property for a new Ball Ground Elementary School well outside the city. Our residents were not pleased with that. The City Council was not pleased with that. But the Board of Education says if you don't like it, change it. Find us a property, find us a place we can build it and make it work. That was quite a task. No elected official was more impacted than Mr. Prettyman, whose property adjoins elementary school that can be a little bit noisy at times and whatnot, but everybody got in the saddle and pulled to make this project happen. And able to secure the land, but to do so we had to give up a road, we had to give up about an acre of property, and we had to make way for about $750,000 worth of water and sewer capacity available to the school, and about $50,000 worth of stormwater. The other thing that the team here really pushed for was for the school to overbuild. That doesn't happen in school construction, but it did here. We have a 1,200 student facility with a little under 600 kids in it right now. So there's plenty of room in that school for future growth and expansion, and it's a great facility. Mr. Mayor?
The school was critical that we maintain that, and the city did a lot to promote the school system, not to build it. Initially, they were planning to build it halfway between here and Freehome, and we wanted it in our city. And these two council members were on board making decisions and supporting our efforts to get this done. I mean, we did end up giving a lot of things concerning sewer connection and water connection, but we did receive the gymnasium and the old school, which particularly the gymnasium, I think we were very happy. But again, you two were on board. You guys, other council members, you were probably here, but you weren't involved in that decision. But Andy and Lee was, and he gave up having the school next to him. I understand why you might be against that or concerned about it, but it hasn't been a problem for you, has it?
I voted for it because I knew everybody wanted it, but we haven't had any noise other than happy noises. And they're far enough away to where when they have, at the end of the semester and all, they have games and stuff, I can hear the kids laughing, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're lucky to have it.
Valley Street wasn't always here. That's what Valley Street used to look like. That was a tremendously expensive project. And it's one that if y'all want to come in and see Donna next month, she'll make you an artificial check. And we retire our debt on that road next month. And that's something that Lee and Andy both had concerns about. We needed the road, but don't like taking on the extra debt. And that road will be paid off by the time you officially go out of the office the day before next council meeting. So that's done. Mr. Mayor?
Well, that, again, the support of you two and moving forward with these, this was a big thing I don't know very many cities that build roads. I mean, that's what we did. This location, when I was a kid, I rode my bicycle down a dirt trail. That's all that was there. But as you can tell, by opening that up as a thoroughfare, in addition to the Canton Highway to the city, it's just enhanced us greatly and allowed us to put the park in. And again, I just want to, we're just bringing up big things that these guys were involved in supporting and happening. And so again, it's enhanced this city greatly for your support.
Say I was not the one who designed that curve.
I'm really glad that they did that
Ashley.
curve so we wouldn't have a drag strip.
Yep. Valley Streetscapes, we had a road, but it wasn't much to look at. It did its job. But this is one of the most used pedestrian areas now we have in the city just for exercising. Long-term, as growth infills through there, it'll be used for commuting or transportation, but right now it's just a great area for exercising. And this again was a federal T grant that everybody worked together to get, and both of these council members had a lot of input, especially in the plantings and the wanting a park or just quiet space. Mr. Mayor?
Well, again, this is one of the critical things in our development of our city in recent years, and it just changes. It's like downtown, and unfortunately, we don't get these federal grants anymore. They're not available, but with the support of the council, and Andy and Lee were very vocal about what we should and shouldn't do. We appreciate what you did to enhance us getting this Valley Streetscapes project done.
This is an older picture, but the City Hall and Police Station, 2007 and 2022. Lee mentioned earlier about coming into my office there at City Hall, which is now the ice cream shop. If you can imagine even trying to get not much more than council fit in there, and they sat around the table, and 3 of the council members always had their back to whatever 6 or 7 audience members could fit in the building. So it was, again, this was another big leap of faith to secure a place, but the commitment was there to stay close to downtown as we could. And this building and now the police building next door, a result of those efforts. Mr. Mayor?
You know, you turn the clock back Now, Andy had joined us a few years earlier than Lee, but we were in that, the former city hall, I don't know if it was as big as this room.
No.
It was originally a fire truck was in it. And when we brought Eric in, and again, you know, Andy, you were on board when we hired Eric. That was the first time that we actually considered a city manager. And so, but we had no room for Eric to have to have an office. So I let him use an office that my mother owned.
The police department was back there.
The police department was in the back of and then we were meeting as a council up at the library. So again, the support of the council, including these two that are leaving us, allowed us to move forward in getting a place that we actually wasn't embarrassing. I mean, when I, you know, as a comment, when I first joined the city, our first meeting, we sat on dining chairs around a space heater. There was no table. It was just, it was 6 chairs in front of a heater. And it was, we didn't have any kind of room, but again, the support of Lee and Andy and other council members at that time to move into a new building that will be, it'll be here hopefully for many years.
Next one's my favorite slide. Senior Center, and I love it because here's Andy cutting the ribbon and the mayor, and the other side of that is Lee for the grand opening when we cut the ribbon on that facility. And another one that both of these council members really pushed to have something for our seniors in the city. And we were able to get that job done. This is the location where the fire station used to be. The fire station was in a metal building there, and then one bay of that fire station was Public Works. So this senior center opened for 1 day a week, and now it's running 5 days a week. So they didn't think they would have near the participation that they did, but this was a joint project. City of Ball Ground provides the building, does the maintenance, pays the utilities, and Cherokee County staffs it and manages the programs.
And I guess having the picture with you two, we were the oldest people from the city at the senior center. But I'd like to have a copy of that picture.
Next thing is the new fire station. Not the best picture of it, but it was one of the first things that this council did as a group was the dedication of that fire station. I think maybe one of the first meetings early on. So a great experience for this group. Mr. Mayor?
Well, again, that's another enhancement for our city is to have a quality fire station and ambulance position, and the council agreed for us to include under SPLOST, contributing $150,000 to construction of this. And again, without council approval, you two particularly, it wouldn't have happened.
The next one is pre-Lee and pre-Eric. But there was, the old post office was the split-face marble building downtown that's now a vacant building. Postal Service decided they were going to move the post office out of Ball Ground. So that was a charge that Mayor Roberts and City Council and Councilmember Stoner led to make sure that a post office was maintained in Ball Ground and close to the downtown. Mr. Mayor?
Well, we almost lost it like the school. I know they tried initially to put it in the Lions Club ball field, and people went crazy. And but Ball Ground is the Postal Service handles 4 counties. 30107 has Dawson, Forsyth, Cherokee, and Pickens County. When the post office was actually put in place, we were one of the bigger ones in the county. So it's nice that it was maintained and it's here in the core city, and not, if you look at Canton, the post office was downtown, and where is it now? On the edge of, halfway to Ball Ground. But it's, again, it's good to have it in the core city, and I know, Lee, you were not here when all that fighting was going on, but you were. You knew that a lot of people supporting it to remain in the core city, so it's part of our history.
Roberts Lake Trail and Park. We were able to secure a grant to assist with the funding of this. And it's always great to have trails, it's great to have parks, and that's what it'll be for a long time. But the push behind obtaining this, as nice as it is now, is this body of water. As growth continues, as this entire region continues to grow, this is the most advantageous place for a drought contingency reservoir long term. We're talking 45, 50 years from now, but the city has secured land and secured an area that eventually could be a drought contingency reservoir for the residents in this area. Mr. Mayor?
Well, let me say that this is something that, again, that you guys on council approved, but don't think I benefited because it has Roberts on it. That was actually put together 100 years ago by a family member, but we're so lucky to have obtained this. It's a beautiful environmental area that is historic. And I know, Andy, you know the history of the Roberts Lake and the dam and the source of electricity for Ball Ground.
No, I just never been able to get over there.
Well, we're going to get you over there. How about that?
Someday.
Yes, it's we're just going over things that we have accomplished in the last years that benefit the whole city and our future, and this will be a future benefit for sure.
The reservoir, that's gonna be really great.
And just to clarify, the mayor's family did no longer own it. They did back when it obtained that name. We acquired this from a subsidiary of Temple Inland and then Rome Craft. It's a big timber company. Supported downtown streetscapes. We talked about that earlier on the Tale of Sewer. But a big thing both council members were instrumental in was park expansions that they supported throughout the years. The area downtown, commonly referred to as the food court, was actually owned by 3 different people. They were very small pieces of property. But it was something that these 2 council members felt strongly about that we should pursue and purchase. And we've done that. Now we have that nice place in the center of town. It wasn't always city property. Mr. Mayor?
Well, I know Andy was very supportive of getting this property downtown. Believe it or not, there used to be a hotel on it, a 2-story wooden hotel. Do you remember that?
I remember when they tore it down.
But yes, and I know, Lee, you're positive about our Botanical Garden, what we've done here, how it enhances. And so, again, these are just things that benefit the city that I like to give credit for these 2 council members that supported us moving on these.
Just another picture of some of the benefits of the park projects and expansions that have taken place with these 2 council members. Probably a big one, historic district. our historic district is on the National Register of Historic Places, which is a pretty complicated process. Karen has a binder in her office, pretty much entirely written by Councilmember Stoner, who photographed every qualifying and contributing historic structure in the district, gathered the information on each one of those buildings and the history of those buildings, and assembled that for the submission. That Department of Interior, I think, that handles that. But, so that was obtained, and that is a huge benefit to our city, to have that as a national register, and helps us in many different ways. But at the end of the day, it's just simple to say you made a difference.
Okay, this time we have something to present to Andy and Lee. Stand them up. Let me go to Lee. Lee, this is hopefully something that you'll be proud to have in your house. It's a recognition for your service. With the ball ground seal on it and your name on it. And it says, in recognition for 18 years of your distinguished service to the citizens of the city of Auburn. Your loyal and dedicated service has played an integral role in making Ball Ground a better place to live, work, and play. We will be forever grateful for being part of this.
Thank you, sir.
Again, we have another plaque for Amy Andrenia. In recognition of 24 years of service, your distinguished service to the citizens of Ball Ground. Your loyal and dedicated service has played an integral role in making Ball Ground a better place to live, work, and play. Back like the old days, back when we were kids. We will be forever grateful for your service. So you can. And we also have something else to grant to each of you. You know how few times we have given them keys of the city? Well, we have one for you.
Thank you so much.
For Lee. I think we've only given, well, maybe
12.
I mean,
this many. But we're very proud to give the 42 years of service people here. Again, this is the key to the city. You have now received it. So we're proud of you. And I think we need to actually do a list put on a wall someplace of people we've given keys to the city for, because we don't give too many of them.
Well, I'm right up there with Stephen Bird now.
Yes.
Make sure you lock it up at night.
But again, we're gonna miss you guys. I'm telling you, even those that have worked with you for a year, understand that. They're very balanced in how they think and how they react, and it's gonna be, but you can still tell us what to do.
Come back and watch us.
You have contact with everybody, so you can still influence. So, but again, we're just very appreciative to your service and how many years you dedicated.
Thank you all. I really appreciate all of these great things you've said about me. I'm not sure all of them are quite true, but I'll claim them anyway. But it's been a pleasure working with, especially with you, Mayor, and Eric and Karen and all the employees of the city. They've just been great to me. We're just a family. And I'm sorry that Daryl's not here tonight. He's been so helpful in me throughout my years on the council. And I really appreciate all the help that I've had and all the support that I've had from the community, and especially Karen. And I understand that she invited my family tonight to make sure that I did leave. As my daughter Julie, I'm so proud of, and my sister Deborah, my baby sister, and my sister Naomi, who I was born on my birthday. I got her for a birthday present one year when I was 4 years old. And my nephew, my oldest nephew, Richard, we're just lost without him in our family now. And my son-in-law, who is a son. Just really appreciate my family and the support I've had from them. And they've been there for me when I was complaining and griping and this and that and the other we couldn't get done. And I just appreciate being in Ball Ground. It's just a wonderful place to live, play, and work. And we've got a good employment in the city now, and I'm real proud of that.
Thank you, Andy.
Well, I think I about said it all last time I stood up, but thank you again for 18 years. And the key to the city. This is amazing to me. And you all are family to me. And keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Okay, this time we're going to let's go ahead and adjourn the meeting, and we're going to have some refreshments honoring Lee and Andy.
Motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
So moved.
Again, thank everybody for supporting these two members.